it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And we do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 15 hours worth of work, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now on today's show, Anything Goes Friday, my guest is someone who runs in the same marketing circles that I do. And we both belong to the Mike Koenigs and Ed Rush community, and is someone who's taken some massive action on the training that she's gone through. Now, Gail's originally from Washington, D.C., but now lives in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, for 19 years, she worked in corporate travel as a consultant at the World Bank and PricewaterhouseCoopers until 9/11 struck, when all travel came to an abrupt halt. She then went into real estate investing business and in 2002 and built a wholesale business until 2007, when the world economy collapsed as a result of the mortgage crisis. Now, that catastrophic event took its toll on Gail like it did so many others. She lost her entire real estate portfolio, including her own personal residence. But that didn't keep Gail down. It was then that she moved on to Maryland, closer to her two adult sons, where she started her journey into video marketing. Now, Gail ventured into an organic coffee and tea distributorship while continuing to learn marketing strategies to build her own coffee business online. Now, around that time, she discovered Mike Koenigs, and through his training and events, she elevated her marketing services to include consulting, book publishing, and live webcasting. Now, in 2015, Gail launched the Small Business Network TV using social media webcast platforms such as Blab, Periscope, YouTube Live, and Google Hangouts. She now helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, position them as the experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. Now, she does a lot of that by using live stream platforms that has allowed her to connect with their current and future ideal target markets, then repurpose and repackage those streams into additional products that can be offered to her clients. Now, a strategy that I'm very much in alignment with. Now, today, Gail's going to share with us her 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. Now, make sure you pay close attention to what Gail has to say regarding this topic. If you've watched my show in the past and you're aware of the Authority Acceleration formula and the blueprint, you'll know that I'm a huge advocate to live streaming video to your ideal target market. So today, you're going to learn some new strategies to turn that stream into money. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, I'm going to be joined by Gail Turner Brown. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Today it's Anything Goes Friday, where basically anything goes on the show. We're going to stick to the theme of business this week, business strategies, and particularly live streaming. Now, with Facebook Live coming on the scene not too long ago, you see more and more people live streaming content to their feeds. Now, Facebook didn't start the concept of live streaming, but because of their massive customer base and reach, they've opened it up to the world to they've opened up the world to content that they normally wouldn't get access to. So our guest today is going to share with you 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. So be sure to pay close attention to what she has to say if you're either live streaming now or you plan to incorporate it into your business. Now, Gail Turner is our guest today. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. Now, she does that by using live stream platforms that allows them to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to their clients. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen for our guest today, Gail Turner Brown. Hey, Gail, how you doing?
I'm doing great, John. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. Thank you very much for joining me on the show. And you're in Maryland right now?
Exactly. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, and it is getting pretty. You could call, the fall is here. Fall is definitely here.
Well, the winter is here in Edmonton. It's actually snowing right now, and we probably have a couple of inches of snow on the ground. It's the second snowfall of the year, so.
Wow.
Yeah, I am not too happy about that. I'm a fair weather person. I don't know why I live in the climate I do, because I like it 30 to 35 degrees on a regular basis.
Oh,
and
no.
that's Celsius. Sorry,
Celsius. I'm like,
Celsius,
really?
not Fahrenheit. Okay, so I like it, 90 degrees on a regular basis, and that's the type of climate that I like to be in. But thanks for joining us on the show.
Right.
First thing I want to do before we get too far is what we call an interview. It's a speed round of questions. And I know you watched the show before, and so it's just basically we're going to rip through 10 questions just so the viewers get a better sense of who you are, just get to know you a little bit more. So it's just whatever comes to your mind in a few words or a sentence. It's nothing that you really need to study for. So what I like to encourage all of our guests to do is just play along with Gail, and as I ask the question, just type in your answer in the chat box, and at the end of it, we'll just see what everyone has to say. So are you all set, Gail?
Yep, I'm all set. All set.
So name the book that impacted your life the most.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, that's an amazing book. When you were a young girl, who was your celebrity crush?
I didn't do too many crushes. Probably Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say him.
And what is the book, podcast, or show that you're into right now?
Let's Talk Tech by Winnie Anderson.
Oh, very nice. Previous guest on the show. Do you currently work with any coaches?
Yes, I do. Dr. Letitia Wright. She's a crowdfunding coach as well as a business coach and a media coach.
Excellent.
And so, yeah, that's who I'm working with right now.
So what's your favorite movie of all time?
Let me tell you, this is really hard because I love old movies from 1935 to about 1965. But the one movie I can look at, I don't care how many times I've seen it, I still always love it, will be Star Wars.
Excellent. And are you currently involved in any masterminds?
I call my sessions with Winnie Anderson, those are masterminds to me.
Well, there's two or more people together collaborating,
yes, that's right,
and working on each other's business. So that is a mastermind.
Exactly.
If you think of Napoleon Hill's actual definition of a mastermind, it's two or more people collaborating on businesses.
That's right. That's it. That's right.
Name a person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
Wow. Richard Branson.
Okay.
Because I think he is so much fun. So he's not only rich, but he's so much fun. So
Exactly.
him.
What's your favorite type of vacation, beach or adventure tour?
Absolutely beach. I
I
want to live in Aruba. That's where I am planning to live. So
nice.
yes.
I'm definitely coming to visit you because it has my climate.
Yeah, man. Yes, beach. Absolutely the beach.
So what's the best business advice that you ever received?
Wow. Probably, there's two pieces. See, and again, I think one of these things came from Winnie, which was to discover who you are first. And who are you at your core? And what do you stand for? Okay. Before determining what kind of business that you want to have, because your business is an extension of you. So when you nail that down, that oftentimes will help guide you to what kind of business you should have.
Excellent. Great piece of advice. So the last one's a two-parter. Is it water, beer, or wine? And is it pizza, wings, or salad?
I would say wine is water during the day, wine at night. And definitely salad. If I had to, I would say.
If you had to choose on a regular basis.
Yeah, it would definitely be salad. Not. Especially if those are my only three choices, it would be salad.
Excellent. So everyone, give Gail some love. Hit that like button, the love button. Definitely share this to your friends on your Facebook feed. We greatly appreciate it. And just going to give a shout out to Erwin, who's joined us today. Welcome to the show, Erwin. And if anyone has any questions that you want me to ask Gail, just definitely type them in the chat. We'll either get to them during the show or tag one of us in the actual question or the comment. And after the show finishes, we'll follow up with you if we don't get a chance to get to it during the actual show. And if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Gail Turner Brown. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as the experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. She does that by using live stream platforms that allows her to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to the clients. So Gail, can you just give us in just a couple minutes, give the viewers sort of your origin story, sort of where you came from, not too long, but just give us a little brief background for a couple minutes.
Okay, yeah, sure. So the Reader's Digest version is, as they say, I was born at a really young age, but I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., got married, moved to Maryland, have two great kids, all that. They are totally grown now, but throughout my career, I was in corporate America, just like a lot of us. I started out as an executive assistant, but then I ended up transitioning I was an assistant at the World Bank, in the corporate travel division. And so I stayed in the travel industry for close to 20 years. And it was amazing because even though I was doing that, somehow or another, I was still doing something on the side. I was doing credit consulting and I was always doing something on the side. But, fast forward after 9/11, people stopped traveling. And then that was also the beginning of the e-ticket craze. Not craze, but, people were transitioning to e-tickets. And so they closed our division. And quite frankly, by 2001, by that point, even though I stayed with the same corporate travel company for all that time, in between, I had been laid off and then they hired me back twice.
Okay.
And so by the time 2001 came, after 9/11, 2001, and they let me go again. And because I had been doing some other entrepreneurial things, I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. If I'm going to get laid off, let me lay me off. I'm tired of somebody else doing it. And so, so from there, I was a real estate investor, which was absolutely great. And then 2007, it was absolutely not great.
So you had a couple big catastrophic events in your life that sort of derailed your employment.
Yes, absolutely. So, major high and then crash down. And so, and obviously when that happened, along with a lot of other people, I lost all of my assets. Yeah. And one of the things I want people to understand, because this is what we have a tendency to say. We have a tendency to say, I lost everything. And I really didn't. Not as long as I stayed sane, which was kind of hard during that time. Yeah. But, you kind of, as long as you have what you've learned, then you really do have that is really your biggest asset. That's right. I lost all my material assets and ended up moving with my adult son. And so from there, I got introduced to a network marketing company in the coffee and tea industry. And so as I started doing, because an operative word, no matter what, is marketing. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, I wanted to learn more and more about marketing to help market my business. Got involved with video marketing. Got to meet, during that time, how I came upon meeting Mike Koenig, so coming upon his information. Mike Koenig is how I met you, John. Yeah. And really, really started getting into the video marketing and then live streaming. And really, it was really amazing. And I'll go back to what I said with the best advice that was given, because through that time, having various mentors and kind of watching and helping people kind of give you an idea of like, when you ask someone else, okay, like, what do you see in me? What kind of person do you think I am? Some of the same things kept coming up, which basically is like, I really love connecting with people and I like asking questions. Right. And so I got to learn that, my niche, even though, and I still have my coffee and tea business. So, I always have that, always will have that. Yeah. But I really, really enjoy connecting with people, and it doesn't matter where they are. It's a fabulous thing about live streaming and technology, that you don't have any boundaries.
Yeah.
So just really started getting into that, and that was like really like last year. Really started kicking it up, and then
Excellent.
developing, where I am today. So that's pretty much my.
So you've transitioned from just doing video streaming, video marketing, actually, and transitioned into live streaming, which seems to be what is kind of the rage right now.
Yes.
So what have you found to be the biggest challenge, or it's not challenge, but the biggest difference or advantage in using the live stream versus just traditional video marketing? What's the biggest difference or the biggest advantage?
The biggest difference and advantage is this. The video marketing, such as like what people do with, let's say, your YouTube channel, it's static.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I mean, because YouTube is the second largest search engine. If anybody wants to ever learn how to do anything, that's usually actually the first place that they go.
Exactly.
If they want to know how to, right? But when you're building a business, the main thing is engagement. It's not just how many people are just going to click on, but how many people are going to stay, how many people are going to, as they say, people want to do business with those people who know, like, and trust you.
Yes.
Well, you can become a YouTube celebrity. People come and they watch you every day. But now, if you can get them to your live stream where you're providing them content, they're asking questions, you can kind of go back and forth. And not only that, with the kinds of live stream that we have now, it is not just always that person in that chat box that's just typing in their questions. You can now bring them on your stage.
Yeah.
And so now you're having a conversation face to face. And so you really get to know that person. And the more they get to know you, the more they get to know your content, the more engagement you have, then the stronger that they will, if they like you and they like what you have, the value that you bring, then they'll stick with you and they'll continue to buy from you.
Exactly.
And so that's what I find is the biggest difference. It allows people to really have an up close and personal view of the person or the business that they're doing business with.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in that, and that sort of aligns with exactly what I'm teaching and sharing with a lot of people in the Authority Acceleration Program. Is, if you're going to create 1 hour of content, then you need to spend 10 hours distributing and engaging with your audience. Yes. On that content that you created. Just creating content alone really doesn't do that much. It's the distribution and the engagement. That's where you get the interaction. That's where you're going to get people to, like you say, know you, like you, and trust you.
That's right.
I say those words over and over and over. You got to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. And one of the biggest ways is to create content, but to engage in that content. So
exactly.
Can you explain a little bit more specifically about how you use this to help small businesses, coaches, and consultants? Are you teaching them how to do this? Are you doing it for them? Sort of what avenue
all
are you taking?
Above.
All the above?
All of the above. So for a lot of people, especially small businesses, especially the ones who have brick and mortar businesses, okay? And some of them, coaches and authors, because I've interviewed all of those kinds of people too, they don't know the power of live streaming because it's just kind of coming onto the scene. And so there are some people, as most people have probably heard, you've got Periscope and Meerkat, and you've got Snapchat, you've got all of these various platforms. But what I found is that most of those platforms are one to many. So if you're a motivational speaker, so to speak, or if you have a message, if you're doing training and you don't really need to have anybody there, you can use that. That's one way of doing it. But if you also want to be able to have somebody, again, like I said, up close and personal, then those people are able to really kind of almost feel like they can touch you, so to speak. So that's what I'm finding is that when you're able to introduce that to a client that just didn't have any idea before, and they see the power of it, it can really be what do you call it? I don't know, a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't have to be, because it's like everything else. It's not exclusive, but it does add to their toolbox of ways of marketing themselves. And with so much noise, this is also a way to help stand out from the rest. And that's the other thing I find too.
That's the right terminology. There's a lot of noise out there, and you have to distinguish yourself above everybody else that's just creating noise out in the internet world. So how are you going to differentiate yourself from everybody else? One of the ways to do that right now is through live streaming, giving value to your ideal target market, and engaging with them as well. So if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Gail Turner Brown. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as the experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. She does that by using live stream platforms that allows them to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to their clients. So if you have any questions or any comments, just please type them in the chat, and we'll try to get through them during the show. And if not, we'll answer them after the show in the comment section. So Gail, it's one thing to do live streams, and it's another to actually monetize them. Can you share with us 11 ways, this is from you, obviously, 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. So you actually have a sort of a formula or 11-step plan or 11 different ways that someone that's actually doing this for their business can turn their live stream into a cash machine. Can you expand on that or just share with us those 11 things?
Absolutely. And I'm sure there are probably more than 11. But I'm kind of going by some of what I've already done. And so when I was thinking, how many ways are there to do it? These are some of the ways that I know can be done because I've done them or some of my colleagues have done them. Right. So first and foremost is my most favoriteest way, which is to do interviews. I have, just as we're doing right now, but I've interviewed prominent people. I've interviewed I had this really great interview that I did yesterday from a design person. And so the way you monetize that, however, is actually there are several ways. The best part about doing video and doing live streaming is that when it comes in the video format, now you can take that format and break it up into multiple and repurpose it into multiple different things. Right. So this one video content of this interview now can be turned into a book. It can be podcast. You can have multiple blog posts, based on how the content is done. It can be articles. And in fact, one really neat way that someone mentioned to me is like if you've done an interview of someone that's I keep saying an influencer, mm-hmm. or the content is really, really great, and let's say you decide to create a book with it. Well, guess what? You can now also not only can you have your book, but you can burn that and create a CD or even a DVD. Right. So now you not only have your book, but you also have an audio, a physical audio of it, or a physical DVD with it that will add value to that book that you created. And so that's one way to take those interviews, take something that's like a free interview, but then turn it into money. Right. And number two? Number two is advertisers and sponsors. Now, everybody's heard of sponsors, yes. Right? And so now here's the thing. Everybody, especially when you're starting out, you would love to have your big corporate sponsor, and that can definitely be done based on maybe the amount of people that you've built your show up to, or just some of the connections you have. But let's say you are just starting out and you're like, well, who's going to advertise with me? Well, anybody who wants to have their show put out, because this is one of the things that I share with people. Again, because you're doing video, it's not like with radio. This is, a regular radio station, mm-hmm. not like Blog Talk Radio or internet radio. That says, okay, this is my reach. This is my territory, so to speak. No. With video, your reach is as expansive as the internet itself, because it doesn't just live right there.
That's right.
So if you do this interview, and now then you upload it to, let's say, YouTube, you make sure that it's, you got SEO, that it's done right, and now it can get several views. So that being said, you can have, you could have someone, let's say in the direct sales industry, who is marketing, makeup, okay, for example.
Yep.
And you've just done an interview with, and here's the thing, there are no limits, okay? So I'm just going to say, so you've just done an interview, with, I don't know, Wendy Williams, Oprah Winfrey, whatever, but then you've got now you have your person, your direct sales person who does cosmetics, and that person, I'm just saying she, but it could be a he, but mainly it's a she. That person now can also sponsor that segment. So you can charge them for them either advertising, whether it's a little quick commercial when you do your commercial break that you push out, or it could just be a banner that is streamed across your video as you're doing your interview with your prominent guest.
Right.
So that's another way that you can monetize if you have just by getting someone to sponsor your segment. And it can either be a piece of your show, or it could be the segment of the entire show.
Exactly. So that's 2. How about number 3?
Number 3 are reviews. So everybody has seen review. You can review almost anything, okay? And so you can review, let's say, for example, we're doing this show, and you have there are certain tools that you need to use to produce a show like this.
Yeah.
Whether it be what kind of camera are you using, what kind of background, what kind of graphics, things like that. So you can have a review can come out. Let's say the XYZ company has just put out a new camera. So you can actually review that camera, unbox it, let people know that you've used it. They can see how good it is, whatever, and then recommend it. And in your show, it's like, this is where you can get it. And so whether it be that you get a direct compensation, like through an affiliate link or something, or whether you just sending them over, hey, I just found this, it's for sale, it's on Amazon. You can, if you're an Amazon affiliate, then you can get compensated just from giving real honest reviews of products and services.
And typically you're only going to review the stuff that you're going to give positive reviews because you want the affiliate link anyway. So
Exactly.
So if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Gail Turner Brown. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. She does that by live stream platforms that allows them to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to their clients. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, just leave them in the chat field, and we'll get to them either throughout the show or after the show is completed, we'll answer them in the Facebook comments. And I just want to welcome Jason Kamal and Dennis Fortin to the show. Welcome, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. So Gail, and right now Gail's sharing with us 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. So what are some more ways that a person can benefit from doing live video, Gail?
Okay, so we are up to number 4. So I mentioned in our last segment, you can have your affiliate link. And so affiliates all by itself is a way to do it. So once again, especially as you begin to build your audience, it becomes really, really cool. So you can be, again, because I love technology sometimes when it works. Yeah. I love technology, but you could do your live stream through your blog or through your website, for instance. And so on your website, so once again, let's say I'm interviewing a personal trainer, okay, and it's being streamed through my blog or through my web page. Well, on my page, I could have, vitamin supplements. I could have, exercise equipment, things like that. And so the more interest a person has on the guest that you have or the content that you're providing through live streaming, there's also these affiliate links or graphics there that when someone clicks on, and because you've got them there and you're going to get them really excited about whatever it is you're talking about,
Yep.
then there you go, and so that's another good way of doing it too.
Excellent.
Also, in that, I didn't just think of this, but I just thought of this kind of sort. But within that, even when you're doing your guests, so let's say, for instance, you've got someone on that's a personal trainer. We're going to go back to that. That person is a personal trainer, and he's giving like this really great content, and he has a book, or maybe he has vitamin supplements or whatever that he has. Well, you can also strike a deal with that person to say, look, I will get you, whatever sale I get you, I get a percentage of that. So you technically could be an affiliate or get compensated by the guest that you have on, and that's another way of, and I guess I'll just call that an affiliation,
right.
As well. So yeah, I just happened to think about that, off the top of my head. When you're talking about affiliates, it's not always just somebody else, but it could also be through your guest itself, making a percentage of the sales that you help get them.
Right. So that's the fourth way. And how about number 5?
Number 5, demo a product. Now, this kind of goes along with a little bit of some of the other things that we were talking about, but okay. So once again, so imagine you could say you could post up to say, who's got something that they want me to demonstrate? Once again, you could be demonstrating, equipment. Maybe you're demonstrating, let's say you've met a chef and you want to demonstrate I don't know, a mixer, or just how does something work? Right. Let me show you what this is. Okay. And again, now it's like maybe you have 2 ways of doing it. You can either have the person that is providing you with the thing to be demonstrated, they compensate you for you showing your audience. Okay, that's one way. And as well as the same thing as I mentioned before, for every sale of that item that you've demonstrated, you can get compensated. And to really be honest, you can get it both ways. It's like you can charge the person for you demonstrating their product, and however many sales you get them, you get a percentage of that too. So okay. It can be done either way. And obviously it can also be done with, if this is a book, this is whatever, so yeah.
Very good. And number 6?
Number 6. Educate. So people know how to do all kinds of things, okay? And so you can use these platforms for training. I tell people all the time, man, if you are a teacher, let's say you are a high school teacher, elementary school teacher. Yep. First of all, there's no reason in the world why, if you can teach, you can tutor. And if you can tutor your school because of these platforms, you could tutor a world, technically. Yeah. Whether you're teaching them math or you're teaching a second language. And so so that is one way to really exponentially educate on a particular thing. Now, or you can teach people on how to do something that you know how to do, whether it's how to use a tool like this, how to use how to do PowerPoint. I met someone who taught how to use Excel. And so as an extension of that, you can then take that and package it and either do it and then sell that course, sell what you've just taught.
Right.
And there are a lot of free platforms that you can use to do that. So you've got things like Udemy and Teachable and Gumroads, places like that. And so you can teach a course, post them on a site that will then provide you with the audience, and it's kind of like set it and forget it. And so that's the way that you can use what you know or use what someone else knows to get compensated just from sharing it with the world. Yeah,
and along with that, when you're doing the actual live teaching component, you can drive people to, say, an opt-in page where they actually have to pay to watch the actual live education component, where if you're learning how to use Excel or PowerPoint, and obviously it's probably going to be a higher end thing, but just for example, you definitely want to, if you want to be able to charge them, then you drive them to a landing page where they actually pay to enter, and then once they enter, they get to participate. They get to watch and participate in the live streams, because the beautiful part about a lot of the live streaming platforms is you actually have the ability to interact with the people. There's chat roles, or Facebook, for example, you can see the chat that people are leaving, the questions, the comments. If you're, one that I've used quite extensively in the last couple of years is I've streamed through YouTube Live, and I've used chat roll along with it right on the same screen. And, I've done that, 2, 3, 4 hour webcast where I'm educating the people in the topic. It's free to get there, but I'm using it for selling a product or a service. So
right.
So
Absolutely.
If you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Gail Turner Brown. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as the experts in their field, and improves upon their brand and expand their brand recognition. She does that by using live stream platforms that allows them to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to the clients as well. So please leave any questions that you want me to ask Gail. Just leave them in the Facebook comment section, and we'll try to get to them during the show. And if not, we'll answer them sort of after the show. And I just want to welcome Rosemary Stephenson to the show, and thanks for joining us. So Gail, I think we're Gail sharing with us the 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. So I believe, Gail, we're on number 7 now.
Yes, number 7. So here is a thought. One of the things I've learned as I've been doing this is, live streaming is fun, but it can be challenging to be your one-man band.
Oh, yes. Okay? I hear you there. I know what you're saying.
I know you can attest to that, right? So now that's one part. Here's the other part. There are a lot of times when you introduce live streaming to people, they are really nervous. Now, I will definitely come from the female perspective. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to get on camera. I don't look good. I don't whatever, yeah. Right? And so, and it's just that nervousness of saying, when I get on camera, now somebody can see me. I know all eyes are on me. So one of the things that I came up with is, I actually did this for someone, and honestly, it was like unwittingly, because somebody asked me, this is what I love. This is how you know you have the idea.
Yeah.
Someone says, Gail, will you work with me to come on my show? And I was like, sure. And then she said, how much do you charge for that? Now, I would have just done it, but then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. So what I call it is co-hosting, because and a co-host, and okay, think about it like this too. Johnny Carson always had Ed McMahon, right? On all the nighttime shows, they always have their
sidekicks,
okay, right? So you can be a co-host from the standpoint of being the sidekick. Because here's the other thing too, sometimes there's nothing worse than coming on and you want to get engagement and you've got people in the chat and nobody is talking to you. Right. You're asking questions, nobody is answering, and it's like, what is up? So sometimes it helps to keep the flow of the show. It helps to make it so there's no dead air. Sometimes you just get stuck and you don't know what to say. So sometimes that other person can kind of be there, kind of help feed you questions to help you keep going. Right. So that's one thing. The other thing is a co-host can also be a little more behind the scenes, meaning they're in the chat. So you're there talking, but they're in the chat, helping engagement with their audience, maybe asking questions. Because again, you're sitting here saying, hey, what do you think of that? And nobody is saying anything. So the person in the chat, in your co-host in the chat, they can start asking questions, because a lot of times people won't ask questions until that very first person does it. Yeah. So So here's the thing. It's like, so you can hire a co-host. And by the way, I am available. So you can
shameless
hire,
plug.
right, shameless plug, I'm just going to say. But so you can hire a co-host to help you out, for your shows. And it can be a lot of fun because most people feel a lot more comfortable talking with someone as opposed to just looking in the camera and start talking.
Yeah, especially for people who are never been on camera before. They're not, it's bad enough just getting on camera, but then they have to try to remember what they're going to talk about and keep the flow going. So having someone there that's more experienced that can actually keep the flow going, can ask you the questions that just sort of keep you going is a huge advantage.
And the other thing that I've done and I've also had done for me is someone that is experienced with the platform. So when something does go kablooey, I gotta tell this story. I will never forget this. And I guess she, yeah, okay. I think she'd be okay with me saying what it is. So one time, Winnie was doing a show. She had this fabulous guest on. It was great. And as we all know, technology is special.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it just does really crazy things, and so nobody could hear her. Her guest was new to the platform. Her guest had never been on before, so he didn't know what to do. When he kept going out, it was so funny. One time when she came in, her camera was upside down. It was crazy. And so luckily, she had given me co-hosting privileges, and I was able, while she was trying to get her, because all her computers kept crashing, all this stuff kept happening. And so in the meantime, her guest is like, oh, what do I do? So I was able to literally come on, and I was knowledgeable enough about what they were talking about. And actually, you don't even have to be that knowledgeable. If you know how to ask questions,
that's right.
If you're curious, that's what I did. So I was able to kind of come in and take over while she got her tech together. And so that was the other thing too. So you kind of, it helps to save the show, and she can still have good content. So that's the other thing that a co-host can do, is to kind of help. And like I said, and I've had people do that for me as well, where they were able to help keep trolls away, all kind of things like that. So that's the other benefit of having a co-host, either on screen or behind the scenes, helping out when things don't go quite the way you want them to.
Excellent. So that wraps up number 7. How about number 8?
Number 8 is, you're going to really like this. If you hadn't done this already, you're going to like this, John, in particular. Create a buyer's list. So here's the deal. As I mentioned, I was a real estate investor. Okay, and so we're always looking for, you're looking for people to buy your property or to sell your.
I'm in that field too.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you'll really love this. So let's say on a regular basis, you're doing. I'm just going to use real estate as an example, but I mean this could be insurance, it could be investments, it could be business opportunity, whatever. Yeah. So let's say you have a show that consistently talks about one particular industry, so we're going to say it's real estate, and you're building up people who are interested in that field. And as John mentioned, and the way they find you, or one of the things you do, you begin to capture their contact information, because they want to know about what you're talking about.
That's right.
Well, now you've got a list of people who are either investors, or maybe they're looking for a home to buy, they're looking for a home to sell, maybe they're in foreclosure. And if you're doing a real estate show, you're going to have all of these kinds of topics going on. Well, guess what? Now you literally could take that list, you've built that list, you can take that list and you can sell it to realtors, in your particular market, or investors in your market, and say, these are people who are looking, I've got a list of 1,000 people who have come to my show who are looking to buy a house or looking to understand how to invest, and you can sell that list. So that's a way of monetizing that.
Excellent.
I think that's cool.
Yes. So that's number 8. So number 9.
Number 9. This was crazy. Okay, so I know you guys have heard this, but it's just that I did this. I've done this twice, and it was really kind of nuts. But the virtual summit. So this is where, and the reason why I said it was crazy is because of how we did it. So, so I don't know. It was just fun. Yeah, I'll explain to you a little bit later. So here's the deal. So this is where you gather. You come up with a particular topic, and you gather several experts that surround that field, and you do like a multi. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a multi-day, but you do multiple live streams,
Mm-hmm.
and then and each of them, hopefully have a call to action. And so you can do it in a way that you can do one show at a time, and people come, they ask questions, and then you package it and you take each guest, put it all together, and you package it so that people can buy that package of information.
Right.
Okay. Now, that sounds a lot more sane than what I did. What I did was I said, "Ooh, let's do this." So what we did a 3-day summit. We did it from we had an 8 hours, so we had 8 hours a day, like nonstop, right? Of different people that came on and did their thing, and we did it for 3 days. So it was basically, what's 8 times 3? 24. Okay, so we had 24 hours of content we did interviews. And I had a couple other people that were working with me, and so I did interviews with them mainly to kind of help to extract out of their brain what I thought their audience wanted to hear. And the other good part though was that the audience could come in and they get to ask questions. I think that's the other good part too, because now when they're asking questions, you get to kind of find out, what are people looking for? What are kind of questions that's coming up over and over and over again? And so when you do that, then it's like, okay, now I know this is what people want. So, but then you take that summit and then you package it. You package it as, you can have a membership site where they get to see it. If they missed it that day, it's like, oh, well, you can see it, but now you're going to have to pay for that video, and they can either buy the videos on an individual basis, or they buy it in a package. And then you can offer the video or the whole thing, and you can also offer just the audio, because people don't, it's like, I don't need to see, I just want to hear, I need to listen while I'm doing something else. So you put that package together, and then you can create a book out of it, or PDFs out of it, or transcripts of it. So now people can see it, read it, or listen to it however they want. But then but that's how you monetize it. The other way that we did it was I did what's called, and I will be doing a version of this year as well, but last year we came up with we called it a blabberganza, because at that time we were using a particular live stream platform called Blab. But
right.
that's here nor there. Here's the main thing. What we did was with Black Friday. So we used Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. And what we did and how we monetized it was this. I used it in a form of like a craft show or expo, a trade show kind of thing. So each person who came on, for the most part, had to pay for their space, just like they would a vendor table.
Right.
So they paid to be there to, for lack of a better word, to pitch their deal, whether it was training, coaching, or it could have been a product. And so that one we did from noon till midnight, and we did it for 3 days straight. That was crazy, because we put that together in like a week. But it was a lot of fun. I met a ton of people. And a number of people got sales. Some people got leads. But we made, the best part at that time was that we made a lot of connections, and I found a lot of joint venture partners and some vendor partners from doing that. But that's another thing that you can do, is to have I don't know, like I say, I'll call it a trade show.
Just one question I had about that sort of summit trade show type environment that you're doing. Is each person selling something specific, and are you directing them to so each one has their own landing page where you would buy it, or is it you're sending them to just one landing page and it's a collaborative effort where you get sort of everybody's stuff all at once?
No. So what we did, because obviously what we did is probably not how I would do it the next time, but what we did was each person would do whatever it is they had and were promoting. We would put their content in the chat, and then they would and then whoever wanted their information or wanted that, they would click on that link and it would go to that individual's page, period. So,
So how would you do it differently?
one of the things I would do is that I would first of all, I'd plan ahead of time because I think we did this in like a week or 2 weeks. Okay, so that's number one. But the other thing is that I would have like a registration page so that we can have an idea of who's coming in. I mean, who's registering, who's saying, yes, I'm planning to attend your summit. And then the other thing that we didn't do that time was to post up who we have.
Right.
And put information so that, because some people may not want, well, nobody's going to be there the whole time, but if there's a particular topic or maybe it's a person that they know that they're like, oh yeah, I want to get that information. I know that guy or that lady. And that way they can know, okay, at 1 o'clock, this person is going to be there. So that's the other thing that we didn't do. We didn't do that at that time.
Okay.
And so, but if I have a registration page and people have to register that way too, that also then becomes valuable.
Right.
And that's also not only valuable to you personally, but it also is valuable to the people who are participating, because again, that's that's content, that's contact information. Exactly. Of saying, yeah, these people were interested. So that's
excellent. So if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Gail Turner Brown. She's an entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and live stream specialist. She helps small business owners, coaches, and consultants who have no live stream knowledge increase their visibility, helps position them as the experts in their field, improve upon their brand, and expand their brand recognition. She does that by using live stream platforms that allows them to connect with their current and future ideal target market, then repurposes and repackages those streams into additional products that can be offered to those clients. So if you have any questions, please type them in chat, or if you have any comments, if we don't get through them before the end of the show, we'll definitely connect with you after the show. And I just want to welcome Winnie Anderson to the show. Winnie says, Gail Turner Brown's brilliant, and that I run a great show. Thank you very much, Winnie. I appreciate that. And Winnie says Gail rocks, so thank you for that as well. So Gail's sharing with us the 11 ways to turn your live stream into a cash machine. So right now, Gail, I think we're on number 10.
Number 10. Now, this is another one of my most favorite things to do because it really makes it a lot easier for the business owner. You can produce a show. So if you know how to, just like how we're doing now, John is like, a fabulous producer, and he does all the hard work,
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, he does, because there is a lot of work that goes into this. It's a lot of work, I'm just saying. And so you can, but if you know what to do and you got to get a team of people that can help with various aspects of what it takes to put a show together, then people will pay you to say, because how many times do people say, you know what, I don't want to learn this stuff. Yeah. Can you just do it? I just want to show up and be cute and do my thing. That's and right. Let somebody else do the rest. So that's the thing, okay, is to produce a show. I did do that for someone. I think we did, goodness gracious, I know it was about a good 4 months. It was for someone who was launching a book. He's a motivational speaker. Actually, his dad is extremely prominent in the motivational personal development space, and he was cutting his own teeth, doing his own thing. And so we worked with him, and it was good. It was a weekly show, so every week it was a different content, and that we were there behind the scene, and we did it was great because it was like pre-marketing. And then we were there for the show to do the back end, everything. I was there sometimes. I was the introduction person, so I could introduce him, give him his kudos, so people knew who they were watching. And then we did after the show, where we did we did editing, and we put together the video and posted it out and did all of that. So that's another very lucrative way. That's probably the most lucrative, honestly, way of doing in the live stream stuff, is that when you become the producer,
right?
There's a lot that goes into it, so therefore it is a premium service that is being offered.
Definitely, I do some producing myself, and it's a higher price tag if you want me involved in anything to do with your show. So that's number 10, and the final number 11.
The final, drum roll, please. I participated in this, and sometimes you do stuff and you don't realize that it can generate revenue, mainly because when you're doing it, you're not doing it for a personal gain. And then I discovered later that, whoa, okay, there's a business model in this.
Right.
So let me share with you what we did, because this is one of the pieces that I am the most proud of. Now, it wasn't just me, it was a whole group of folk. But what we did, one of the people actually who had come to my summit that we did last year, he had a client. His client had a son. His son was born with sickle cell. As a result, as an offshoot of the sickle cell, he had I think it was a type of bone cancer, and he was going through a lot of stuff. And so obviously not only had he gone through several surgeries and all of that, but it was also financially taxing on his family. And so my friend was like, God, what can we do? Well, so what we did, he started contacting everyone that he knew that we had just done the summit. So we started meeting. So he met a ton of people during that summit. Like I said, we ended up having a lot of joint venture partners, right? So what we did was he began to reach out to some of the people, especially people who not only had products or services that they offered, but they had a really large base of followers. And what we did, we had a blabathon. Okay, so like a telethon, but we were doing it on this particular platform. And so what we did, it was for 12 hours. And it was awesome because we had people from literally all over the world. So when people in the US would take up a shift, and then when it got real late, the people in Australia would take up the other shift when we were sleeping. Then we had people in Europe that would take up that part, right? And there were definitely times when everybody came together. They sold everything from chocolate to training to this is how you get people, this is how you build your YouTube channel. If you just donate X, and we had the GoFundMe page that was going on, and so I did two major things that I did. Was one, I created the video of the young man, and that got streamed all the time to kind of let people know this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it, and this is why you need to come and watch, participate, donate, no matter how much it was. I was actually also one of the co-hosts. I would kind of jump in and ask questions of the main person who may have been speaking at that time or whatever. So those are the two, and then I was behind the scenes in the chat box, talking to people, asking questions, getting people excited. But we had a number of pieces to the puzzle. When it was done in that 24-hour period, we had raised like $8,000.
Very nice.
For this young man, and he was going through surgery at the time because he had pneumonia, and so he and his mother and father were at the hospital. So they would come onto the show and kind of give us a update on how he's doing and what's happening. It was just fabulous. It was the best thing that you could ever do because you knew what you were doing was helping someone else. So nobody got now. So here are the two ways though from that compensation could come in. Number one, so if you gave away a package, somebody sells, someone donates $100, and for that $100, you are going to provide them with let's say an hour coaching session of whatever it is you do. Well, that person can then end up becoming your client because they got a lot out of your coaching session. They got a lot out of what you had to offer, and then you offer them, okay, well, let's continue to work together. So that's one way. The other way, though, I learned is that how many times have we attended fundraisers for our kids? Okay, they're always selling all kind of candy, doing car washes, all of that. Well, what if you became a fundraiser consultant? And so let's say that they're doing, and you give the school, the church, the organization the idea of, look, why don't you stream your fundraiser? So again, and I thought about this when I was taking a shower before we were doing this. So if you're doing a car wash, let's say, for instance, oftentimes you're in the parking lot, and you're in the parking lot of a little strip mall. Okay, so now you've got maybe the students, maybe the teachers, whatever. someone standing in front of the camera saying, hey, we are live from XYZ Mall. We're doing this fundraiser to raise money for the suits for the kids. And come on down and get your car washed. Here we are. Oh, we've got the pizza shop right here. Come on down. And then the pizza people come out and they say, hey, we're going to give out some free pizza if you come down and get the car washed.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. So now you literally have the community involved. You're streaming out online. Not only that, it's like, hey, it's okay if you're not here. Here is where you can donate. Here is where you can help support these young people. They're trying to do X, Y, Z. This is what you can do for them, And oh, by the way, the pizza shop will give you a discount. You can just go onto their website and you can get a discount. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's just unlimited what you can do. And so you can be a consultant for that school, for that organization, and they pay you for you to help put all of this together. So,
excellent.
Yeah, so that I just if there are any consultants out there who do fundraising, I'm telling you, or if you do, so nonprofits now can actually, there's a way to make money from nonprofits.
Right.
So.
Thank you very much, Gail. That's 11 great ways that somebody can actually use live streaming and either create a business or incorporate it in their business, or even if they have a business right now, how they could actually use it and generate money for their business. So just before we sign off, I just want to, there's a couple of questions, couple of comments in here. And when he says, Gail, should we worry about the platform or are the skills the big issue?
Skills. Because there are many platforms out there that you can use. So the main thing is are the skills. And what your message is and what your information is. So it's content. Exactly. That's always king. And
she also says that was a brilliant idea about the fundraising. And Joanne's on, and she says she likes your enthusiasm and your loveliness, and says I'm doing a great job and great content as well. And she also liked your fundraising idea. And Winnie's she was typing something and started typing the words you were saying, so I guess she was taking dictation for you.
So okay, good. I love it. Oh gosh, I love it.
Well, Gail, that's all the time that we have for today. I want to personally thank you for being on the show and sharing with us the 11 ways that you can create some income using live streaming. So everyone, show Gail some love. Hit that thumbs up button, that heart icon. Definitely share this with all your friends on Facebook associated with your business page as well. So there's some great and valuable content in here. Anyone that's has a business or is doing live streaming at all, or you think they should be doing live streaming, this is definitely a show that you should be sharing with them. So Gail, it's been great having you on the show, and I definitely look forward to catching up with you real soon. So
thank you so much for having me on, John. This was good. It was good for me because some more ideas came to my head as I was saying that. So this is pretty cool.
That's awesome. So everyone, just stick around. I'll be right back after this short transition with closing remarks for today. So thanks a lot, Gail.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with and help entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take their business to the next level and would like to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on the show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create our own life, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with each other. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Now, step one to reaching your financial freedom is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with coaches or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward and move ahead in their business. Now, the second step to create a life that you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so that you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on things like your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that really make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need or how to implement those systems or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or a consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help you save time, aggravation, and make you a great deal of money. For example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, and get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author, you have a successful podcast, and you have enough content to get you seen, get you heard, and get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device, automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, that's also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. To find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, the coaching program, or the mastermind, then contact me via my website, johnamccabe.com, or connect with me through the show's Facebook page. Again, I want to thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show where we have a great guest lined up and discussing their business and they're accelerating their authority. So have yourself a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.